There are hundreds hidden items in The Sims 4 that you can access like right freaking now. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name's Nisai, and today I'm going to be talking about debug mode. It's a magical place where you can go and get this. The more expansions, packs, or kits that you have, then the more items you will have. But even just the base game has like so many items that you can use for free right now. I've put chapters along the way so you can jump to whichever part you need. At the very end, I have a tip for you that will change your life in The Sims 4. I'm not promising anything outside of The Sims 4. So there are 2 levels of free hidden items in The Sims 4, hidden and live edit. There's also a third category that is called locked items, but whether you want to use those is kind of a personal preference, and they are technically not part of debug, but I did include them at the end just in case you're interested. Before you can play with all these awesome, amazing items in Sims 4, you need to enable cheats. If you're worried, don't be. We all use cheats. Most people. Using cheats in the Sims franchise is a tradition that should be respected, cherished, or worshipped. To enable your cheats, hold Ctrl and Shift and then press C. A text field will show up in the left top corner of your game, and in that text field, type testing cheats space true, and then hit enter. Now you are God. I mean, you were God before because this is The Sims, but you're more God now. Congratulations. First level of hidden objects. Hidden objects. So hidden objects are in-game objects that are already there. They're just not accessible to you in a normal way. So for example, if your sim makes a plate of cupcakes, then, out of thin air, they magically show you a plate of cupcakes. These cupcakes, this plate of cupcakes, is in the game. But when you go into build or buy mode, you can't access the plate of cupcakes unless you use debug. You want to have a ranger station on your lot? Do you want chopsticks? Do you want a sword? And most importantly, a rubber duck. To enable your hidden objects, you need to pull up the cheat screen with Ctrl-Shift-C and then type in bb.show hidden objects and click enter. Level 1 unlocked. Yeah. Level 2 life edit. Life edit objects are items that you can see in game around the world, but they're not on your playable lot. Bridges, cars, trains, creepy babies, a bus stop, streetlights, a bale of hay. You can find entire houses in live edit mode. James Turner has used this masterfully in this video. It's just kind of funny when you can suddenly plop down an entire apartment building. People get really creative with these items, and now you can as well. To enable live edit objects, you do need to have hidden objects from the previous step also enabled, and also testing cheats true from the very first step. Bring up your cheat window again with Ctrl-Shift-C, and in it write bb show live edit objects. That's it. Click enter. Boom. Now this last level is a bit of a bonus level. Whether you decide to play with locked items or not is really up to you. Now these items are items that you earn through your careers. So for example, you get a cool bed at the end of the artist career. You get a stack of magazines if you're playing the decorator career. I personally prefer not to use this cheat, but there are like plenty of people that play with this on. You don't need to have debug enabled because these are not debug items. You do, however, need to have testing cheats on. To enable locked objects, you need to bring your cheat text field up by pressing, you guessed it, Ctrl-Shift-C and typing bb ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement. Whew, that was a mouthful. Took me many tries. And then click enter. And there you go. Here's a question to you. Would you, now that you know how to do this, prefer to play with the career rewards locked or unlocked? Like, I prefer locked, but would you prefer unlocked? And why? Okay, so we've got all these amazing items unlocked. How do we actually access them? So the locked objects that we have just potentially unlocked, like this rug or this bed from the artist career, are just in your game normally. You can buy them in build buy mode, just the same way they would be if you unlock them through gameplay. As for debug, it gets a little bit more complicated. There are 3 ways to find the debug items. Type debug in the search field and click any of the results. This will show you a list of all the items at whatever level you have chosen to unlock them. So you can also find your debug items in buy mode, but they're kind of scattered. So you're still kind of looking for a needle in a haystack. You can also use the gallery. Some people in a wonderful Sims community have created rooms that you can download and plot on your lot and have access to specific debug items. Let me just jump into the game so I can show you how to do this. Up here, you have this light bulb. Yeah, that's a light bulb. I'm sorry. You click that and that opens the gallery. It will ask you if you want to connect. Maybe it won't ask you, but it asks me every single time. So I assume it's the same for everybody. And now all you have to do is in the search field, you write debug 50 hours later. Click down here to place room and it will go back into your game and you can click and you have your room placed. And now you have a bunch of these creatures. So if this happened is because they used bikes that I do not have because I don't have the expansion or the game pack or the kit. Cars, however, because I think all the cars are base game. Thank you. 11 blank 111. And you can have a bunch of cars that you can then drag and place on your lot.
Winning's winning.
Now this brings us to debug limitations. Debug has limitations because obviously it's not meant to be part of your everyday game. So like the plate of cupcakes that we were discussing earlier, if you find the plate of cupcakes in debug mode and place it in the world, the cupcakes disappear. Now there's lots and lots and lots of decorative items that you can create some amazing things with, but I wouldn't really count on them being functional in the same way that they would normally function in the game. They're not organized into swatches. So a lot of debug items do have different color combinations, but you actually have to find the individual items. You can't copy debug items. And this is something that I find super annoying because I use copy all of the time. And sometimes you can't get rid of them. Again, this unlucky plate of cupcakes, I can't get rid of it. I can't delete it. I can't sell it. I can't do anything with it. All I can do is put it in my family inventory. The last thing, it can be extremely frustrating to navigate. There are so many objects that are just called debug. I mean, they don't have names. And even if you do have a name, like a birthday cake, you can't just type birthday cake and find it. It just doesn't work. So therefore, if you want to find something, a lot of the time, you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You get all these items, they're free, they're amazing, but finding something can take a while. And you're like, I know this was here. I know it was here. Why can't I find it anymore? Earlier, I found some chopsticks and I forgot to click record. And then I wanted to find them again and it took me freaking 20 minutes. So yeah. Now, there is a solution to this, and here comes my bonus tip. Again, I'm not promising this will change your life, like your real life, but it will change your sim life, especially if you are a builder, especially if you try to think outside the box and create something that isn't just, 4 walls. If you want to just create 4 walls, that's also fine. Been there to that place where I don't care. I just want 4 walls, some windows and a door. And I'm just going to slap it on there and I just want to play. But if you want to up your build game, if you want to get better, then Twisted Mexi has created the perfect mod. It's called Better Build by Mod Organized Debug. And it is so much more than just that. So it not only organizes your debug, names the items, you can find them in the correct places. It adds swatches to your debug mode, so you can now just click and swatch them. You can also clone them, as in copy them, but it also adds filters. So for example, with one click, you can disable all your CC or enable all your CC. You have a filter that separates all the different kits, not just, all kits or no kits. What's even better about this mod is that you no longer have to Control-Shift-C and write all of these things over and over again in your game, because it allows you to actually just click on the filters and turn them on or off, and it remembers your settings, so you don't have to do it all the time. And it allows to change light settings in your game in build mode, because normally you have to go into live mode in order to, for example, set all the lights to pink to give something an interesting mood. It does indeed change your life. Actually, Little Simsy did this really cute cafe build that uses light in a very, very clever way. I will link it below and put it on the card here. Twisted Mexi did an amazing job at making a guide video that's really, really short. I think it's under 4 minutes, that basically explains all the features, how to use them, commonly made mistakes, all sorts of things. So I highly recommend that you watch that. If you create anything with Debug now, after watching this video, please let me know your gallery ID. I would love to see your creations. items. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and have a lovely morning, day, or night. It has been a pleasure. Boom! At this point, I just wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button. Debug, oh my gosh, now I have to edit this. And boom, bam, boom. Ta-doom.